Lazarus makes a good run of about 12 metres back outside the 20-metre line. Andrew G is the second forward to take it up on this set. They've played around about 8 times, these two clubs. And the Gold Coast won the very first game back in 1988. 7-1 is the way it reads in favour of Brisbane these days. They did attract a very big crowd last year to ANZ Stadium. As Madison slices through, Gold Coast are forced to clean up way back on the halfway line. But now Brisbane come up with the ball from the play the ball. The man playing it went to sleep, and Brisbane come back with it. A fresh set of 6 for them, and Peter Ryan driven into the ground. Last year, as I mentioned, 14-6 Brisbane won in front of 57,000 people. And even the Broncos could believe the size of that crowd. It was eclipsed just about, I think, a week or a fortnight later by Brisbane and Canterbury, from memory. Now Langer. Down the back, he picks up Andrew G. They try to take him high. They drop off the tackle, and Walters is with it now. 45 metres out from the Gold Coast line. Madison drops it onto the right foot. Takes the right turn. 10 metres out from the Gold Coast line, the scrum will pack them.
And Ray, while the Gold Coast have only won once in 8 starts against the Broncos, they're going to give Broncos a very hard game tonight. We saw last week they had a draw with Penrith and made them fight hard for that, and they seem to have a newfound pride in their camp under the coaching of John Harvey. So they'll make Brisbane work very hard.
One thing that was successful for them last week was their kicking game. They must have nearly set some sort of record of some strong defence there from the 2 Brisbane centres. They kicked 27 times in general play. Normally we see probably 7 kicks a half, 13 or 14. In fact, Brisbane only kicked 13 times against Parramatta the whole match. And Dale Shearer kicked most of the time.
Well, that's a great tackle there. Scott Freestone is not a small man, and I think he ran into the shoulder of Mark Hone. It was a classic rugby league tackle. Shearer clears. Hancock coming off his 40-metre line. Bit of pressure on blokes like Julian O'Neill and Michael Hancock. Well, that's has been given up cold, according to Bill Harrigan. I was going to make the point that Wendell Saylor is a handy player for Wayne Bennett because he does force a bit of pressure onto players that think they'll be in first grade every weekend. Well, Coleman turning it inside. It's Clinton Moore. Also went to St George. Now Shearer pushes it on for Busian. And the youngster, Peter saw him first playing, I think, with Harristown High in a Commonwealth Bank Cup final at Illawarra one night against Fairfield.
He was a star for the Toowoomba side. He's come into this team and done some good things as they go wide. Dale Shearer trying to set up his outside men. The pass wasn't a good one to Freestone, but he cleans up.
Now Busian again. Clinton Moore wrestled down by Alan Langer. This is the last, so Dale Shearer will probably go to the air, and that he does. It's not a bad kick either. Landing on the 10-metre line. Wendell Saylor's lost sight of it. Harrigan watches very closely and then orders it back for the 20-metre tap place kick.
Well, there's a big chance there for the Gold Coast because no one touched that football as far as I'm concerned. If they had got a hand of ball, it was a try. Scott Freestone, the man in the end, chasing it, the big prop forward. Look at him striding out there, trying to get the football, but no luck for the Coast.
Ooh, I thought about passing, and the impact of the tackle could have given Gold Coast a chance. Wendell Saylor. Here's a young player that's destined, I'm sure, for good things in the game. Langer to the left. Kevin Walters cuts out one of the centres, but he really gave Michael Hancock a lofted pass, and it took the impact out of the attack. And that's why Hancock went absolutely nowhere, back on his own 30-metre line.
They've done everything well in defence, the Gold Coast. They've numbered up every time that Brisbane have looked to go wide. The Gold Coast have made sure they've had troops out there. Mark Hone taking the ball forward, finds Ryan off the shoulder. But there again, good driving defence. And again, it was Peter Gill. So defensively, he's been very strong.
John Harvey, in an interview today that we heard when we arrived, made a very strong point. If we can keep the scoring rate down, we're in with a chance. So John Harvey, after about 14 minutes, would be quite happy with what's happened for him out there.
Yeah, I think that was important, Ray, that they weren't scored on early, the Gold Coast. The longer that they can go and keep Brisbane in check, the better it is for their confidence. They'll have got confidence out of the Penrith draw last week. And the longer they can stay in the game against the Brisbane side, they'll start to believe they can go on and win this one.
Here's a penalty going to the Gold Coast. Andrew G gets up, not very happily. Freestone's got half a smirk on his face. I suppose I can understand why. His team's got the penalty. No score, though, after 14 minutes in Friday night football from Carrara. Adrian Vowles taking the line kick with no score on the board. Penalties. Well, that was the first of the match. And this is Lee Groves, a youngster from Cairns. One of those players that I mentioned earlier, Wally Lewis brought to the club. In fact, he had David Westley from Canberra, had his name on a contract. And they lost him to the more illustrious Raiders. Russell Bussian puts the kick through. One of the Broncos got totally lost there. It was Julian O'Neill. And Gold Coast are within 2 metres of the line. A chance for them. The fullback gives it out. Herring turns it back to the right. Going ahead is David Woods. He runs into a wall of defence, and Woods is forced back. 10 metres out from the line. Craig Coleman calls for it, runs across a couple of paces, and Groves is put away by Lazarus. Now from Val. Coleman runs it. Tries to put a short ball in. He does. Oh, great pass. Tremendous combination. And Shearer, he gets the try. Little Tucker Coleman. Magic stuff from the former Rabbitoh. And the Coast lead Brisbane 4-0 after a quarter of an hour.
Well, the Brisbane mistake 3 tackles early, and now look at Craig Coleman. Goes across the field. He knows he's got Shearer on the inside. Throws a little dummy. And there's a little gap there for Dale Shearer. Too much power to push Peter Ryan out of the way. And the Coast, they've struck.
Yeah, good option running it on the last. I thought Peter Ryan was a little bit slow coming across. Coleman shaped the kick. Ryan was there, but by that stage, Dale Shearer had too much momentum up. And a great start. They looked like they were going to score a couple of rucks earlier. The bounce was good and bad. It eluded the fullback. It also eluded Bussian. They did come up with possession. And 2 rucks later, they put the first try on the board.
Adrian Vowles from 15 metres out. Oh, gee, that's a costly miss. It was very kickable. 4-0 in favour of Gold Coast Seagulls. This is how it happened.
Right, how many times have we seen Craig Coleman run to the line like this with South Sydney, and now he's put on a try for Shearer.
Scrum to be worked by Alan Langer as you come back to us. 28 metres out from the Gold Coast line. Kevin Walters across for Johns, and then the run around for Khan to look again for his centre partner. And Johns is tackled by Terry Cook. Hancock is now with the ball. Crosses the 30-metre line. Fairly close to that sideline on the far side of Carrara. Khan, a dummy half, puts Mark Hone about 5 or 6 metres further down the ground with quick service from dummy half. It's with Langer and now Kevin Walters. Julian O'Neill was in the back line. Langer is with the football now, and he's put away by David Woods. That's how close they are to the line. Just 15 out in the centre. Kerrod Walters. Across. Picks up Wendell Saylor. Steps off the left foot. Tries to fend off. He was into touch, and the flag goes up.
Very good defence there from the Gold Coast once again. And Craig Coleman showing his experience when the dummy half took off. As Kerrod Walters has a little disagreement with Dale Shearer. Craig Coleman didn't continue to go across. He left it for the outside men. Wendell Saylor was coming back inside, tried to go around Scarden, who did exactly the same thing a minute ago and came up with a similar mistake. A bit of tit for tat there.
6-2 the scrums. Gold Coast. 6 of the 8 decided. Nothing against the head. This is Adrian Vowles. Put away by Terry Mattison. You see a headgear now on the Broncos team without Steve Renouf, and you can We're quite sure that it's Terry Madison.
And very shallow in the defensive line is Julian O'Neill. No surprise that the Gold Coast are kicking. Starting to drop back now, but for that first 2 or 3 plays, he was only 10 metres behind the front line.
That's one player they are missing tonight, Steve Renouf. Whenever they wanted to throw the ball wide, normally the brilliance of Renouf can create something. He's not there tonight, and look, they're struggling, the Broncos.
Oh, this is an awful bounce for Wendell Saylor. It's not presented any problems, though. He's just taken that left-hand turn and gone over the sideline. About 31 metres out from the Brisbane line. But it was a terrible bounce, and it could have caused problems for him.
I've always thought that was a good ploy against sides like Brisbane and Canberra, who are such good in broken play, to kick for touch and get into a set play situation. That way your defence can get set. You shouldn't have any problems from a scrum, really. Even putting the high bomb up in the air where the fullback has to stand and catch, you get a good chase there. Your defence is set immediately instead of having to compete against them in broken play.
Talking of this big crowd here tonight, Peter has already pointed out that it is the weekend of the IndyCar race. And that has brought a lot of the motoring enthusiasts to the Gold Coast. And I guess a fairly heavy percentage of this crowd is made up of those sort of people, lovers of all types of sport. And talking of sport, tomorrow the Lipton's Tournament men's semi-final time, 10 a.m. live. Tomorrow morning, Rafter versus Agassi. Come on, Peter Rafter. Walters. Patrick, is it?
Is that his middle name? Is
Oh,
it Patrick Peter?
Patrick Peter Rafter.
P. Rafter. Got such a nice forehand volley too, Ray.
Has he?
No, you have.
Madison. Would you keep quiet for a moment? Patrick, is it? This is Andrew G. 5 metres or so into the Seagulls half. Langer using Hone. This is the last now for Brisbane. Langer decides to run quite a way to the defensive line. They didn't come up on him, and now it finds the line. And so the scrum will go down about 12 metres out from the Gold Coast line.
Must give the Gold Coast defence some credit tonight. They've got amongst the Brisbane players tonight. Normally see the Broncos throwing the football around willy-nilly, but tonight the Gold Coast, they're hustling, they're bustling, and they're getting amongst the Brisbane passes, and really they're playing some great football, the Coast.
Yeah, they're tackling high as well, aren't they, Paul? So they're wrapping the ball up, and that's not allowing the Brisbane side to get that second and third phase play going. Getting wrapped up ball and all, and not getting that momentum they normally get.
Not a great deal of work for the scoreboard operator so far. Seagulls 4. Broncos yet to score. And as the match unfolds, Coach John Harvey becomes happier. Talking about slowing the scoring rate down. It's been stationary for quite some time. As Dale Shearer's kick is a big one and bounces out on the full. Dale Shearer, he really gave it some drive, and he's just given it too much. That's the kick. It lands about only a foot outside the line. Kevin Walters. Johns trying to work back through the scrum that was breaking up.
I don't think there's any team in the competition that can... good defensive game, Peter Gill. Any team in the competition that can hold the Broncos out for any longer than 6 tackles in a row. So really what Brisbane need to do now is maybe roll one in goal on the last tackle here and try and get another set of 6. Keep some pressure on. They've only been down here for 1 set at a time, and the Gold Coast have handled that.
This is Chris Johns now. Good attacking position for the Broncos. Plenty of the field available for them as they work it to the right. This is the last. Langer kicks across to that wide side of the ground, and the Gold Coast have cleaned it up.
Yeah, well taken by Clinton Moore over there. He was under some pressure too. There was plenty of Broncos players rushing through on him, but he handled it pretty well. Got up and left the ground.
The other winger now, Scarden. Memories of him in a match that we did for the Gold Coast. I think he was playing 5/8. Craig Coleman comes slicing through the defence. He's created a lot of problems in the game for the Broncos. Shearer. This long driving kick, turning the big Brisbane Broncos around. And Julian O'Neill has been kept extra busy. 9 minutes of the first half remaining. Langer away from dummy half. A long run for Alan Langer towards the sideline. He was looking for Sailor to come inside. Now touch judge goes in.
You're feeling it wouldn't bother, would you?
Well, this will be against Brisbane, I would imagine, for a touchy to go in. It's normally a report on the attacking team.
Both Wendell Sailor and Alan Langer were upset with John Scarden. They're the two Brisbane players that have been called out by Bill Harrigan with the touch judge in. Let's see if we can pick up the incident. Langer playing the ball. Well, all he's done is just give him a little brush. There was nothing in that whatsoever.
Defending and tap.
Oh, you're kidding.
So the penalty has been awarded. And the Gold Coast will come out of this with a tap just outside the 30-metre line, I would expect. That's what's happened. Only the second penalty in the game. It's hard to believe. Just 2 penalties in about 35 minutes of football. 25 out from the line. They go towards the centre of the ground. Herring a dummy half. Coleman looking for runners, and they come from a fairly plentiful supply of forwards. They're all anxious to have a part of the action. Horsnell, a special night. Are they going to make it into something really special? Shearer, short pass for David Woods, back for Shearer. Then he kicks out to Wendell Sailor's wing. Sailor is going to be thrown over the in-touch in-goal area. So it's excellent work by the Gold Coast Seagulls. They lead after 33 minutes by 4 points to 0. Welcome to the Albert Shires Carrara Oval, which the big sign says at the top of the screen, but it's welcome back now. The resumption of play, not missing any of the action. Busian put down about 25 metres out from his opposition try line. And 28 is Bartram, Wayne Bartram. He's a goal-kicking forward. Now Horsnell. Horsnell's about 8 metres out from the line. A Bronco is down injured. Coleman flick passes. Gill is brought down 5 metres out from the line. Still there's a Bronco down injured. I think it's Peter Ryan. Now Woods. Oh, good pass. Try. Try time again. The Gold Coast get another try. It is number 27, Kevin Campion, who has scored the try, but David Woods, take a bow. That was a great pass. You'll see it again. The Gold Coast lead 8-0 now.
Another well-deserved try to the Coast, taking advantage of the fact there's only 12 men available for the Broncos. Lovely ball by Woods, one of his best ever, I feel, and Campion's over for the try.
A little bit of a mistake there in the Brisbane defence with Kevin Walters going in. Chris Johns failed to react quickly enough, and that was where the hole was created. But they've been very clever down this end of the field, the Gold Coast. They've really put on some nice little pieces. That little kick that led to the line drop out from Dale Shearer was outstanding just before the break we took. And now from the next set of 6, they've been able to score the try. Alan Langer's upset. He's upset with the scoreboard, 8 down.
Vowles. He's got the opportunity to enlarge the lead. Already it's looking significant, but again he misses from almost the same position on the field.
Well, that's cruel, isn't it? 2 simple kicks really for Vowles. Most goal kickers in the competition would have prodded them easily blindfolded. But that's been a problem up here for the Gold Coast for quite a few years now. No regular goal kicker. Well, the stopgap kickers. Wayne Bartram's one, Dale Shearer's another one. So I was wondering if Vowles will continue with the job tonight.
You'd even cop 50% from there, wouldn't you, Paul? One of those would have done to give you 10 points.
Well, it's in reality the equivalent of a try that has gone begging. And the Seagulls lead by 8 points to 0. Pressing very close now to half-time. Galea has gone on now for the Broncos. And the Gold Coast make a mistake. And Harrigan is going to pack a scrum down.
And they made it 3rd tackle after scoring a try, which was exactly what happened to them after they put the first 4-pointer on the board. Brett Horsell taking his eye off the ball. Out she popped. 3 minutes left on the clock. They really must muscle up in defence, the Gold Coast.
Walters jinks off that right foot after throwing the dummy, and then O'Neill was there to support. But the Gold Coast have been very sound in defence this far. Galea. Slowly but surely, the Broncos edge closer to the Gold Coast line. Chris Johns. Very busy performance from Dale Shearer so far in the game. Prominent in just about all facets of their attacking game, but he's also made a couple of handy tackles in the game. Langer. Face ball across for Kevin Walters. He flicks it up and hopes for the best. Ball went forward.
The touch judge has come in from the far side again. He's seen something untoward. Kevin Walters trying to force the pass there. Only 2 minutes left in this first half. And it looks as though one of the Gold Coast players is being called out. That's Brett Horsell coming into shot. So he's got a problem with the hand. There might be a player taken out in back play in support. There's Willie Kahn on the outside. And I think that might be the ruling, that Willie Kahn was actually impeded.
Well, if that's the case, it'll be Terry Cook that he's looking for. Gill tackles Kahn. I'm not so sure about that incident. I thought it was maybe Terry Cook that took Kahn out in back play, but it seems that Horsnell was the only man required to give evidence. So they go back to the original ruling, which is the scrum. 9 metres away from the Gold Coast line. Husian. Young fullback. And they're getting out into a comfort zone again now, the Gold Coast. That will please their supporters because it's incredible the number of times that a team will put a try on you in the dying minutes of the first half. They're not trying anything too flash, and that's the way to go. David Woods.
This will be a very healthy lead, 8-0 at half-time. I just can't get over how well they've played, the Gold Coast. Played a very good game, both defence and attack tonight. They've shown a lot of variety. The defence has been outstanding. To keep Brisbane scoreless in a half of football is something not many clubs can do.
Julian O'Neill. Hancock. It's not as if the Broncos have been unlucky. It's not as if they've opened the Gold Coast up on a couple of occasions and lost the ball. It's been very much a game indicated truly by the scoreboard. 8-0 in favour of the Seagulls, getting close to half-time as the Broncos try for some points before the break, but denied by Adrian Vowles. Play just inside the 20-metre line. This will be the last set of 6. Ray Herring to play it. As slowly as you like. Dale Shearer soaks up a few more seconds. He had a concentrated look at the timepiece before he went to dummy half. And there's the siren now. Bill Harrigan will call a halt on the end of this play, which he does. And at the break, it's 8-0 in favour of the Seagulls. Gold Coast 8, Brisbane no score, 2 tries to 0. To be forgiven for thinking he knows exactly what they're going to do and when they're going to do it. Kerrod Walters, a short pass up for Glenn Lazarus, who came onto it nicely. Then Kerrod Walters supported. This is Galea. Back now for Kerrod Walters. Turned away and through Madison. Back with Lazarus. Plenty of ball promotion. Not necessarily gaining a lot of ground, but doing what the coach said. Hold the football. Mark Hone. About 9 metres now into Gold Coast area. Madison turns it. No, he doesn't. Throws the dummy. Tackler was Brett Horsnell. Now for the kick from Langer. He weights it more than kicks it. And this is Russell Bussian.
It's been a great run too by Bussian. He's made 20-30 metres there with a fantastic run. It's all the coast here. And Peter Gill now strides through some paper-mache defence, offloads to Vowles. But just observing this Brisbane side the last 3 weeks, not so sure about their attitude this year. To me, they look as though I don't know if they're big heads or what, they're treating other sides with contempt and they're paying the price. To me, they look as though they're a side that I think they've just got to run around to win. They're telling the other sides they're just giving it to them.
David Woods in the interim coming from the ground. And noticeably favouring that left leg. Cook put down pretty well on the halfway line. Good work by Craig Coleman. He scampered into the dummy half position, but Dale Shearer's kick is too big. So that was the last tackle. It'll be the turnover for Brisbane. 5 minutes gone, second half. That was the kick from Dale Shearer. Come back on the first tackle for Brisbane, and that is the halfway line. Kerrod Walters getting busy. I think he realises just how urgent the situation is. Glenn Lazarus. Galea. Gone through over the 20-metre line. Now he's put away. Horsnell around the legs. 8-0 in favour of the Seagulls if you just joined us. Langer gets it out for Walters. 12 metres out. Dummy half Madison. Langer runs to the right. Ball put down. And Peter Ryan comes up with it, but a knock-on has been ruled.
Another mistake there for Brisbane in a good attacking position. Interesting the comment you made, Paul, about the attitude of Brisbane this year. They don't look as hungry as the opposition that they're up against. I guess they expect to start the season well with the kind of the calibre of play that they have. Whereas someone like the Gold Coast, the expectations from outside their camp probably aren't that strong, apart from the 17 players and the coach. They're looking to get things going in the right fashion. Dale Shearer again makes good ground. And they're very hungry. They're on every loose ball a yard before the Brisbane players are. That's right. They're not doing anything quickly in the game. The Broncos, they're waiting, stopping, standing. And they're not on the attack at all, not on the boil. Their senses have more or less left them.
Gold Coast now trying to put on an attacking raid down the blind. It got them some good territory. Played by Scarden, and they are now inside the 40-metre line. Gill's pass goes to ground. And again, there was an opportunity to beat Gold Coast to the football, but they were a bit standoffish, the Broncos. Shearer's kick is straight up and down. He comes down with it because it wasn't contested. And now this will be the turnover, surely.
He's actually pushed Russell Busian out of the way to catch the football himself. Again, it wasn't a good kick. His kicking game hasn't been outstanding by any means, Dale Shearer. They've just done it often and forced the mistake. Look at this. He pushes his teammate out of the way. It's mine. It's that experience ball.
Well, it hasn't been good, but it's been different, hasn't it?
You'd have been pushing blokes to the ball.
Lazarus. Ryan. Arsenal has been strong in some of his defence.
You're spot on. He's been the Gold Coast's most punishing defender tonight. He's just wanted to really give it to the Broncos when they run to him. He's done very well.
Here's a chance now for the Broncos as Langer uses Kevin Walters. Madison comes in from behind. Shearer gets in behind them. And Dale Shearer comes up with the ball for Gold Coast. Terry Cook. Herring. Horsnell. He was a 5'8". Look at him now. He's bulked right up, playing in the second row. Coleman turning it back inside. The ball goes down off the hand of Gill, and Harrigan says play on. And that is Bartram now. Gold Coast becoming a bit scrappy themselves. Busian. Now, the Shearer kick. Little step around Peter Ryan. And Saylor gets under this one okay. I did say to you earlier, the lights here are outstanding.
He's gone out here, Wendell.
He's gone out, yeah.
Oh, hands on the head for Wendell. He's played so well for them. He said he was disappointed to go back to reserve grade. He'd got used to being with the guys in the top grade. He did well to get around Scarden, and then some good defence from Bowles coming across. He's forced the mistake.
The raffle was 0353. 0353.
So the scrum right on the halfway mark. And this timepiece pressing on. 9 minutes of the second half gone. Seagulls 8-0 in front. Freestone flicks it out the back. Herring has to hurdle the tackler. Shearer does the dancing. Bartram supports him. They've got it down to the 10-metre line, the Seagulls. Is try number 3 coming? Horsnell. 2 metres from the line. Battle stations for Brisbane. Terry Cook tries to do it himself. Last tackle. Coleman. Fallen upon by Brett Galea.
It was a very poor play, the ball, and that threw Craig Coleman out. He was desperately trying to get the ball into the in-goal area to force another set of 6, courtesy of the line dropout. But it was a sloppy play, the ball. That took time away from him. By the time he shaped the kick, Madison was well and truly up there.
The Coast go back. Terry Cook. Terry Cook. 2 metres from the line. Herring. Is that David Woods back out there? It is. Herring once more. Delivering for Coleman to push on to Shearer. Shearer steps, gets it away. It's a try. It's another try to one of the replacements, Kevin Campion. That's his second try.
Yeah, isn't what? Dale Shearer having an absolute stormer here tonight for the Coast. Oh, great play by the Coast. Once again, it's come from a Brisbane mistake in their own quarter line. Wayne Bennett, he'll be spewing. Look at Shearer, throws the big dummy, the defence keeps going. He finds it'll get there, and Campion does well to come again. Good second phase play. That's try number 2.
And again, it was fairly lazy defence on the inside from Julian O'Neill and Glenn Lazarus, who left that hole there. It was staggered the defence of the Brisbane team. And as soon as that happens, there's going to be an opening somewhere for sides that are prepared to use the football as the Gold Coast have tonight. You'd have to think that this one would be a successful conversion attempt. In fact, Kevin Campion is taking the shot of his own try there. No problems there. That extends the lead. 14-0 in favour of the Gold Coast. Who would have thought this?
50 minutes gone. Friday night football. The Coast in front of Brisbane.
That last try, the Seagulls scored by Kevin Campion. Converted by Kevin Campion. Seagulls 14, Broncos 0.
Welcome back to Carrara, and one of rugby league's shocks is starting to unfold here. Out on the full, a penalty goes to the Seagulls from the restart. 3 tries to 0, 14 points to 0 in favour of the Gold Coast.
I think it was Willie Kahn who kicked off. I don't think the Coast will be kicking for goal. 14 blot in favour of the Coast. You're in trouble if you back the Broncos and go 12.5 start.
I think on Footy Tab it was 9.5 start for the Gold Coast. Dale Shearer kicks for the line with a towering punt kick. And the free kick about to be taken in front of Gary Belcher on the sidelines.
Well, Ray, when you're in trouble like this, you need someone to take the bull by the horns, and I think that most of the Broncos are waiting for someone to do that. I'm sure they could do with one of those Steve Renouf 80-metre specials at the moment, but it's not going to happen, is it, without him out there?
They're hurting without Renouf, there's no doubt of that. Played by Boosian, fed for Coleman. Campion.
Yeah, that was raked out by a Brisbane player. Bill Harrigan right on the spot. Campion was hitting the ball up on the fringe of the ruck. There's no doubt a Brisbane hand came in here and played out the football. There you see, it's Kevin Walters.
And I mean, really, how much indiscipline is that?
The attempt to convert the penalty, I should say, is wide, but it goes dead anyway.
Well, at least he's put that one dead.
Well, I think there were a couple of people involved in this tackle. Would I be right in saying that? Langer's got him low.
Well, I reckon that's exactly why the rule was brought in, for exactly what we saw there.
No way.
Whatever it is.
I'm not arguing with you about that. I'm saying to you the player that stole the ball wasn't attempting a tackle. And that's why the rule book needs amending. So the Gold Coast are on... Well, they're on a wave, aren't they? Horseman. 54th minute, leading 14-0. Coleman for Shearer, the runaround. Terry Cook on the end of a Willie Kahn shoulder. Last tackle now for Shearer, again to direct the traffic. Again he goes to the air, and again Wendell Sailor's in trouble. And the Gold Coast come down with it.
Well, Wendell's had an air swing there. He's missed it completely, and Julian O'Neill fortunately came up with, well, what was a try-saver. Here's Sailor trying to make up for it. He's gone straight up the middle. Great run. But what about this one? Wooshka.
"35 metres out now from the Brisbane line. Alan Langer minus one of the shoes.
The Broncos have got their first penalty of the match. 55 minutes into the match. Can they do anything with it? That's the big question. You wouldn't think so on what they've shown so far tonight.
Yeah, look, I'm not writing them off. We've still got just under 25 minutes. They're 2 converted tries and a bit away. They're the sort of side that can do that in the glimpse of an eye. So
Galea. Broncos just inside the 30-metre line. Now they're inside the 20-metre line as Big Mark Hone barges his way towards the line. And a penalty goes to the Broncos, interfering with Mark Hone as he got up to play the ball. They won't go for the shot. They're going to play on. And out it comes now with Walters trying to put the attack together. 10 metres out from the line. Madison dummy half to the blindside G. Cutting back as Johns. Just no organisation on occasions here for the Broncos. Normally, everybody knows where the other person is going, but it looks like they are totally strangers tonight. Galea in 28. Close to the line. Can they do it with Madison? Yes! Madison gets over the line. Terry Madison puts them on the board for the first time. 14-4, Gold Coast leading, 57 minutes gone.
Terry Madison has been one pretty strong player for the Broncos tonight. Kerry Wallace just gets out of dummy half and draws a couple in there. I thought Dale Shearer might have done a bit better with that tackle. He went high, and that left Madison's leg still pumping, and that's why he scored the try.
Yes, and David Woods on his inside went up much quicker than did Dale Shearer. And again, as we saw down the other end with the Gold Coast try, once you get a staggered defensive line, it makes it so much easier for the opposition. And Shearer again a little bit slow to react there. Slow in coming in. By that time, Terry Madison was well and truly on his way to a try.
Madison does the honours himself, right in front. And 14 points to 6 in favour of the Seagulls. 57th minute. Friday Night Football on the 9 Network. This is how the try came.
So people keep saying to me, the first tackle must go in high. Here's an example of if Dale Shearer goes low, he goes nowhere, Terry Madison. I still believe the first man in the defence should go in low. I know you've got to wrap the ball up and all that. That's the second man's job. First man low, they can't go anywhere.
Amazing to think, Paul, isn't it? 14-0, you get a kick in front, a penalty in front. Most teams would say, well, this is an important 2 points to get within 2 converted tries if we put it over. There was never going to be any doubt that the Brisbane side were going to take the quick tap.
Well, here's another mistake made by Brisbane. Talk about being slow and ponderous. What about that?
Tell you what, the way they've played tonight, Wayne Bennett, he might be putting the knife through a couple of these players when they announce the team next Tuesday, because they have had opportunities even to just shut the ball down, but they've been lethargic. Ray Herring is now on the 10-metre line, anything but lethargic. Coleman for Shearer. Short pass. Oh, here's Scarden. Scarden goes in and scores their 4th try. This is one hell of a rugby league shot here. It's unfolding at the 59th minute. Gold Coast 18, Brisbane 6.
Well, it was a vintage pass there from Dale Shearer. They put on one of the favourite plays with a lot of teams, the man coming from the outside in, and that was Scarden. You saw that Chris John stayed with his man. We'll see it better from a different angle here. Play continues here. Pass goes to Dale Shearer. Now, as we freeze it there, you see that this man, the number 4, has gone across. They've come up in defence, but with the weight of the pass as play now continues, Scarden's coming back inside, and he runs into that hole that is left. So the outside man has come on the inside. Johns has drifted across. The hole's appeared.
Oh, great try. Great try. There's Vowles. What price Vowles for this kick? He's missed a couple of sitters. In he comes. Oh, that's a shock. That's kidding. But that's the old Cronin move. We used to do that at Manly back in the 80s, and Parramatta, of course, used to do it during the 70s. It's one of the oldest moves in the book. John Harvey, of course, has been around for a long time. He's seen that move 100 times. Now, here's the kick-off. And, I mean, there should have been men in position there to take that football. It's huge.
Dale Shearer. I'm glad you said that.
Oh, he's a good mate of mine, old halves.
Certainly hope so.
Used to run off me back in 84 at Manly.
That's probably why he looks like he does. Here's Terry Cook now. 30 metres away from the Brisbane line. 18-6. And the Gold Coast lead the Broncos. This is the 9th time they've clashed. 7-1 the scoreboard at the moment, but it's about to be adjusted. Coleman floating it. Campion.
Here's Shearer in position on the right-hand side. Will he go for field goal? It looks pretty good. That was the play. 19 points to 6 in favour of the Seagulls after 67 minutes, and they're doing it in style.
Field goal to Seagulls, kicked by Dale Shearer. Seagulls 19, Broncos 6.
Welcome back to the recommencement of play the first, or I was about to say the first major shock of 1994, but I suddenly remembered Cronulla gave Canberra a beating the other night. The field goal for Dale Shearer. That's how it came. And 19-6 in favour of the Seagulls. 9.5 start offered by Footy Tab. And those that took it, they've already retired to the bar. It's all been done. And the way the things are going for the Broncos, it's not going to get any better. Scarden with the socks down.
Yeah, this is much smarter kicking. Instead of putting the kick up, they're finding touch now. Craig Coleman, the puppeteer. It's all winding down the clock. That's in their favour. The scoreboard's in their favour. The less play actually in action favours their side.
Well, you heard Gary Belcher talk about the man that's doing most talking on the Gold Coast at the moment, Craig Coleman. Gary said he hasn't shut up from the time they ran out there. Here's a chance for the Broncos. A race for the ball, and Willie Kahn appeals for it.
And Dale Shearer's got there first. Still very fleet of foot. Willie Kahn, he made up a few lengths.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's attendance.
Desperate play by the Broncos here. The kick through, and look at Kahn on the charge. He knew all about it. There's Clinton Moore chasing, also Dale Shearer. One of the Coast players got the hand up, probably Moore.
Yeah, it was Moore. What about, if you have a look at Dale Shearer as the scrum breaks, he knows it's on as well. He's half turned also.
Well, oftentimes I can remember in State of Origin they would try at the Maroons, and of course he was the fullback and the man designated to do the chasing. It was a favourite play and still is with the great Queensland side.
I think we scored 2 or 3 a game. That
You figured prominently yourself, as a matter of
way. I
fact.
still have my head in the scrums.
Hancock. You played your part, though. They're down 19-6, the Broncos. The clash of the Queenslanders. It looks like the Boulders, doesn't it? Under normal circumstances, you'd say just get in the queue. But we are talking about the world champion side. You probably wouldn't think so tonight, but they are. Galea, great pass, try. Julian O'Neill gets the try. What a great pass by Brett Galea. 19-10.
Well, this one obviously will go right down to the wire now. This try has been scored close to the sticks. 19-10 kick to come. What a magnificent pass by Galea. David Woods put one on earlier in the match for the Gold Coast. This is equally, if not as good or better than the one by that round. Oh, it's better for sure. And O'Neill, the big left foot step. Harrigan's in the way. Get out of the way, Billy. And a bit of a late tackle there by Herring.
The only mistake made there was by the number 3, Terry Cook. By coming in high, he didn't wrap the ball up. Man already on his inside had him around the legs. He had to stop the football.
Madison, and they've got another converted try. So 19-12.
That's the extras.
Willie Kahn, the dummy half. And big Galea thunders across the park. Shoulders across one. And taking the legs is Peter Gill. This is the last. Langer decides to put it through the hand. Kevin Walters is the man that kicks, looking for an outside back. But Dale Shearer has been everywhere. The driving tackle by Willie Kahn didn't help him.
We had to show confidence with Shearer. He was there to clean up. He did it with one hand. Took the ball with one arm. He's a freak at times, Dale Shearer.
Well, I think we've long described him as one of rugby league's great enigmas. I mean, when he's on, he's white hot. And when he's off, sometimes he can be embarrassing. You've played alongside him, Paul.
Well, all those bombs he's been putting up all night, it's just like practicing for himself. I mean, that's what he does at training all the time. As Gill offloads a nice ball, and he's had a great game tonight, but the interchange of passing amongst the forwards by the Gold Coast has also been good tonight. Tugger still scheming.
Coleman's pass back and away for David Woods. They look sweet now. They're at the 4.5 minute mark. And don't forget, the Broncos would have to score twice. When I say that, they'd have to to score and convert and then find some more points, because they're 7 in arrears. Dale Shearer's dropped goal has seen to that. And now Willie Calm stretches out down the left wing. Spears back inside, but he's covered. He's covered just inside the 30-metre line by young Bussian. Away for Madison, on for Langer. Then for John Platt. Shows it on the outside, holds it up. Gets the pass away now. Taken to ground is Chris Johns. 30 metres out from the Gold Coast line. Just under 4 minutes to go. Andrew G grinds his way up towards the 20-metre line. Jared Walters goes for a scurry himself. 15 out, back to the 20 for Madison. Lofted ball for Galea. He wrestles with Gill. And now Terry Cook combines with Gill to bring him down.
Here's the last tackle. You'd think they'd run the football, the Broncos.
Langer's pass put down by John Plath, and the Gold Coast Seagulls will come up with a turnover. So that puts the Gold Coast in a very safe situation now. Adrian Vowles, as we look on the replay of John Plath going without it. Inside the 3-minute marker. 19-12 to the Gold Coast. This is Adrian Vowles again. Enormous crowd of in excess of 22,000. It's a ground record for Carrara. So I guess it's a big plus for rugby league. A ground record for Carrara.
Well, they've got no more games played here this year, but you would think after tonight's episode they'd come back. They'd love to come back if they can win here. And it seems to be all the people on the Gold Coast look at them. They've loved it. They've been jumping up and down all night.
Well, you know, you talk about the team being called the Gold Coast Seagulls, and with their home ground at Tweed Heads, it probably seems more at home and comfortable being played in the heart of the Gold Coast at Carrara, which is slap bang in the middle of the coast. And a ground record eclipsing anything that Australian rules has been able to do here. So John Quayle and Ken Arthurson will be feeling very happy about that, as no doubt the Gold Coast club would be. 19-12, and more importantly, they're going to celebrate with a victory.
I wonder if they had to kick again from that scrum win. They've got to keep the ball alive, that's for sure. They just haven't got time to score twice. But they'll show everything at them, Brisbane. Wouldn't like to be playing Brisbane next weekend.
That's what they said about this weekend.
Well, it is a beauty next week, isn't it? Friday night football is a replay of last year's grand final again. Brisbane up against St George.
Jared Walters goes for a scamper away from dummy half. Floats the ball out. The Broncos looking for late tries. Wendell Taylor, he gets it down basketball fashion for O'Neill. Intercepted by the Gold Coast. And Tugger Coleman, Craig Coleman, he hasn't got the face. Dale Shearer, Shearer, he comes from nowhere to support. Well, Coleman and Shearer, they have played the lead and support roles here tonight.
What about Tugger getting run down by Lazarus?
How's he going? After the
World's slowest halfback.
He did a great job, Lazarus. He stopped Coleman from scoring, and then he came up with an ankle tap on Dale Shearer.
Little Coleman, he had the Volkswagen legs pumping, but big Lazarus ground him down. Gold Coast, can they get a try with 35 seconds to go? David Wood stands. Coleman looking to put a player off the head. Oh, it's on again. It's on again. Another try. Peter Gill, he gets their 5th try. Now, what a win this has been.
Too easy for the case. Tugger Coleman, once again, he got the intercept and he sets up this try with a lovely depth pass. Here's the incident here. Here's the intercept. Tugger, he showed some pace to get to the football. That's
where it stopped.
That's where it stopped. He's got the head down doing his best. Lazo's cruising over. And then Rowdy came. Right into this Rowdy. His ankle tap pops the ball up just for himself again. And Tugger holds it up. And Peter Gill, too easy. What about this? The Gold Coast, as of now, lead the competition.
Yeah, Alan Langer rushing up on the outside there. Beautiful pass there. We've seen some great work from the Gold Coast down close to their opponent's try line, and 2 or 3 occasions they've led to tries. Really thoughtful, creative play.
Well, Dale Shearer will convert the Peter Gill try, and that scoreline's going to be embarrassing for Brisbane. There she goes. I wonder why he wasn't kicking earlier in the night. Had he been kicking earlier, maybe it'd be over the 30 mark. Full time, Gold Coast 25. I'll take it slowly. Gold Coast 25, Brisbane 12.